Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead on Porch Time today. We've got a topic here today we're going to talk about, our homesteading realities. And in this conversation today, I'm going to bring in someone who has their own YouTube channel so that you're not listening to just me, so that there is another opinion on this. And let's hear what they've got to say as well as what I've got to say. So without having to wait too long, I'm going to go ahead and bring this person in and let them be sitting here beside me, and we're going to talk about the realities of homesteading. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring this other person in here. They have their own YouTube channel, and y'all have really been enjoying it, so I want their opinion on it as well. So without any further talking, let's go ahead and bring in Wanda from Crazy Dazes. Come on in.
Hey guys.
A lot of y'all been asking for me to bring Wanda in on Porch Time, so we figured out that this would be one of the better ways to do it.
Move over next to you like I love you.
Yeah, it's just too hot out here. It's only 90-something degrees out here with a heat index in the hundreds today, so we're not going to prolong it. We're not going to prolong this one any longer than we have to.
But we're talking about the realities of homesteading, and I came up with the topic, a month, 2 months ago?
Probably a couple of months ago, yeah.
And we wrote down 10 realities, good and bad. And we want to go through those.
Yes. The first reality that we're going to talk about is probably in we've got them listed out here. And this is probably, as far as I'm concerned, this could be very well the number one reality of homesteading. In order to do it and be successful at it, and to be able to survive doing it, because Wanda and I survive off of homesteading. Now, we don't go out like we've told y'all before, we don't go out to regular jobs, we don't have an income, we don't go out and work on a job nowhere. Our life is our homestead.
And this reality is, you got to be up early. This is like time management 101.
Yes.
I mean, people have asked about how we manage things, how the time issue. Here at Deep South, we have to get up early. If you wait till late in the summer, you can't do anything in this heat.
No.
People talk about being off grid and all this and not having air conditioning. It's too hot here to be out at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
Even till 6, 7 o'clock.
6 o'clock, a lot of times in the evenings here at 6 o'clock, it's still over 100-degree heat index.
So not saying we don't go out and do things. We do, but we take them in mini trips, I guess you would say.
Yeah. We
go out, do something for 20, 30 minutes, and come back in.
Come back in, cool off.
And if you did not have the air conditioning, you would have to take a bath, or if you had fans. We have fans, and until it gets extremely hot, we just use fans. But you have to have a way to cool down.
Let's explain what getting up early is at Deep South Homestead. I'm usually awake by 4:30 in the morning. By 5 o'clock, I'm cooking breakfast. Mm-hmm. By 5:30, we have ate breakfast, and we're out the door.
Yeah, usually by 6, we have already fed the animals. That's usually the first thing we do. And we're in the field or whatever else project's got to be done. This morning was, by 7:30, we were through. Danny and I had Jared helping, and we were working on the sweet potatoes. How many rows? 6?
We did 7 rows of sweet potatoes. It's 100 feet long. It was completely covered up in weeds. Plus, Wanda actually moved over to the new garden and did 1 row of her cucumbers over there.
And this was by 7:30.
Yeah.
We were through.
Mainly because we have a storm moving in here. Mm-hmm. It's going to dump could be 10 to 12 inches of rain, winds, 35, 40 mile an hour winds. Plus, we had to go to town today. There's things in town that we needed to get done. We have packages we have to mail out to people, things they've ordered. So all of this kind of stuff has to be done in a timely fashion. So
time management would be number one. The reality of getting up early, sometimes staying up late. Now, the other night, for an example, we had gone to bed, and Danny thought, oh, I forgot to cut some bacon up. At 10:30 at night, we're in the shop cutting, wrapping bacon, and putting it in the freezer because we had just let it slip our minds.
Yeah.
We were so busy doing other things. So you have to be able to handle your time well and plan your day out. But no, if you've got to get up early. Now, some places you may not have to get up as early as we do because you may not have daylight as early. But get up with the daylight, work, and then plan your inside chores. And just time management thing would be to plan your day, what needs to be done early outside.
Outside. Okay. Number two is the reality of homesteading is you're going to get dirty and stink.
Yep.
That's just the reality of it. If you work outside, forget about taking baths, forget about showers, forget about trying to dress a certain way. Just throw you some old clothes on, get the heck out the door, and go get dirty, and quit trying to nimble pick around through stuff and try to stay clean while you're doing it. The best thing to do is just go ahead, get down in it, and just get dirty.
Yeah, because when you pull weeds, you're going to get dirty. I can wear gloves. The gloves are dirty. Before I know it, I've got it on my hands because I take the gloves off.
The bugs have got on your face. Yeah, everything.
You know, so you're going to get dirty. Even cleaning the rabbit pens, the chicken pens, you're going to get smelly. Yeah. And you can't stop, go take a bath, and then start the next project. That's something we try to stress here at Deep South. When you come, it's not run, take a bath every time you go out and do something, come in, take a bath, go out and do something, come in, take a bath. We don't do that. We do wash off if we need to.
Yeah.
It's all about managing your resources, too.
Managing resources as well. Now, number 3 is it's just downright hard work. Let's just be honest about it. If you're going to survive off the land like we do and raise most of 90% of what you eat, it's just hard work. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Yeah. If you're not used to physical labor, then you won't make it. Just saying. We have multiple gardens that have to have weeds pulled.
Yes.
We do not do back to Eden. We wish we could do back to Eden.
I wished I could, but we don't.
We've got one garden that has tomatoes we have leaves.
We have leaves. We have a back to nature on that one.
It's helped tremendously in that garden. But we don't have enough leaves to cover every garden we have. And we can't afford wood chips that the termites and the ants would take over. So we have to do it the old-fashioned way with multiple gardens. We do the weeding. We have to do the hoeing. We have to do the planting, the plowing. Everything has to be done. Yeah. We have equipment that helps us with it. And when we have it, we use it.
We use our resources. We use equipment if we have to.
So everything, even the canning, everything is hard work.
Yes.
You can enjoy it, but it is work.
It's work.
No, the realities of homesteading is you have to work at it.
Number 4. This is the one that's going to get most of y'all. It got me, and it got Wanda, and it's gotten everybody that I've talked to, and it's the hardest one that I have found for people to get used to. And that is, you're not going to have a lot of money.
If you live off what you have here.
Off of your homestead. Now, we are friends with people who have homesteads that actually pick their produce and take it to market and sell it. And they will be the first ones to tell you they make a small amount of money for the amount of time and labor they put in. But yet they need this little bit of an income to help them supplement their bills.
Yes.
So you're not going to have a lot of money. And if you're used to running out eating all the time or going to the movies or going to shopping, if you're going to homestead for a living, that ain't happening. You better
get a job somewhere else.
You better just get a job somewhere else because that ain't going to happen.
Yeah, because unless you mass-produce acreage, which means a lot more hard work.
Number 5, it's hard to be, or almost impossible to be, 100% self-sufficient because let's just face it. On our homestead here, we can't mine salt.
We don't have enough animals.
We don't have enough animals to provide enough manure for fertilizer, so we have to purchase some fertilizer or meat. I mean. There are people out there who do have enough of this stuff, but when you have physical issues like I do, they have to have protein every 2 hours. By the time you do your beans, your nuts, and your meats to get these proteins, we don't have enough trees on our place to raise enough nuts. I mean,
and we have to buy those.
We have to buy the nuts. So in order to say I'm or oil or flour
Everything. So we raise all our vegetables.
Yes.
We hardly ever buy anything unless it's out of season and we need something specific. Like, say, during the summer, if I wanted lettuce, I would have to go to town and buy it because we can't grow lettuce in the summer. But I usually try to find a way to eat what I have on hand, and my salads consist of whatever we have, and it usually doesn't have any lettuce in it. It may be cucumbers and tomatoes and asparagus and, whatever, anything besides the lettuce. Because we grow most everything, but lettuce does not grow here in the summer, so we have to supplement. But to be honest, Danny and I are probably, 75 to 80%.
We're about 75 to 80% self-sufficient.
And that doesn't include it. We have to go to town to buy clothes and everything else. So we're not making our clothes. If you encompass that, we'd drop down to 40% or so.
Yeah.
So you have to go to town to buy something. You're not making your shoes and your clothes. You're not making your pots and pans and, all that has to be bought.
Everything has to be bought.
Unless you're better than we are at making it.
Number 6. It is very, very time consuming. Mm-hmm. It's 24/7 if you live on a homestead that's an actual working homestead. There is no not being 24/7. There is no leaving the homestead and saying, I'm going to go on a trip, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. Today we're going off to the coast for a day, or we're going to run up to the mountains for a day. If you live on a working homestead, that, unless you have somebody to step in and take your place, that's not going to happen.
You've always got to have a backup if you're
always
going to
do
have
that.
It.
Right.
So if you don't have the backup, you can't just walk off, even for the day, and something happened to your animals, predators, whatever. Sometimes there's all kinds of issues. 24/7 means you've got to monitor your animals all day. Not saying you got to sit out there, but you got to make a trip around and check things.
You have to walk your property several times a day. You
have to check your plants even, because we're having problems with predators now.
Predators, insects, worms, stuff like that. You have to literally do this on a daily basis several times a day.
Yeah, Danny and I could not go outside for, say, 4 days. Just not even go out. Leave everything alone for 4 days. Pretend we're on a trip. And guess what's going to happen? We're going to have dead animals.
Yep.
We're going to have plants that have died.
Weeds that have taken over.
And probably the raccoons and possums will eat every corn stalk we have.
Yeah.
So 24/7, that's another reality. It just happens.
Number 7, you're going to be lonely. People who homestead for a living will be the first people to tell you, gosh, this sure is a lonely lifestyle.
Most people don't understand, and they think you're crazy.
Yep.
And so you're not going to have a lot of friends because they don't want to hear what you have to say about homesteading. They think, why do you do this?
Yeah, why do you do this? Why don't you just go out and enjoy yourself? Why don't you do that? You can't.
Why don't you go buy all your food and you don't have to do all that work? What does the Bible say about food and work?
The Bible says a man doesn't work, he shouldn't eat. And a lot of people think that means go hold a public job, and that's not during that particular time which the scripture was written. That's not what that verse meant, because during Christ's time, everything was agriculturally based. Now, there were those that lived in the city, but they still worked outside the cities in fields and stuff like that. It means literally, like in Psalms 128, he talks about a man who raises his own food will be happy and he will be prosperous. So that's what we're talking about with that particular subject there. Now, number 8 on the homestead. And this one here is one where a lot of people have a lot of problem with this. On a homestead, there is going to be the loss of life. Whether it's whether the possums get into your chickens, or the coons get in your chickens,
the coons or possums get into
our corn. You're going to have a loss of life, and whether it be plant life, whether it be animal life, and there's also going to be a loss of human life. Because on homesteads, people die, just like animals die. I lost a sheep this year, was doing perfectly fine. I went out the next morning, it was laying in the corral, dead. It just died overnight. Don't know what happened. Had to take it out.
I lost several of my biddies.
Yep, she lost all of her biddies in a thunderstorm. She had a whole coop of just a whole flock of little biddies running around with the mama hen. Got up the next morning. We thought a snake had ate them all. Got in the pen and got to look. They had huddled down on the ground that night. The rain had come. They'd gotten wet, and the ants had done covered an ant bed completely over them by the next morning. So there is going to be loss of life on a homestead. Plus, you have to take life on a homestead. We're going to be doing that here pretty shortly. We've got a pile of rabbits that's got to be butchered. You've got to be the one to be able to take the life of an animal and to be able to to live with it.
Yeah, and that's something that I'm trying to get my mind wrapped around, because I've not done that before. So that's something that I'm going to have to learn to do. And that's something that a lot of people haven't done yet. And so I would advise most anybody to take that into consideration, because you can't always run to the store and buy food.
That's right.
You may not always be able
to
go get your meat somewhere. Right now, we still have the luxury of driving to the store and picking up some beef or chicken or whatever to have to eat.
To supplement ours.
Yeah.
We do have some of our own meat. It's just that we have to supplement because we don't have enough.
But we have that luxury right now. But if we're going to become 100% self-sufficient, and anybody that says they are taking life. They have to.
You have to.
That's just part of it. And even the other part of it is the human life. Danny lost a spouse 6 years ago.
On the homestead.
Here on this homestead. And you have to learn to come to grips with that. That's something that is massive. It messes with the mind. You have to overcome.
Yep.
And some people move away.
They do. Some people sell their homesteads and move because they can't handle the reality of it.
Yeah. And Danny was one that did overcome eventually. It took him a while, but he did overcome. So you've got a lot of loss on the homestead. So that's just one of the other realities there is.
Okay, number 9. On number 9 is the reality of homesteading is you know what is in your food. See, that's probably a biggie for us because we don't want to go to the store and buy food. And even though they say organic, it doesn't mean a hill of beans anymore, because I have inside connections in lots of places that tell me we just stamp it organic USDA and it doesn't mean a thing. You know,
yeah, because it could be brought in containers with others that wasn't organic. That could accidentally get mixed.
Yep.
Some places are truly organic.
There are those places.
But you have to weed out and know which ones. And just going to a grocery store and picking up something off the shelf, you don't know just because it's stamped that it is. Even with Danny with gluten-free, we have found so many things that are stamped gluten-free, but then when you pinpoint it down, they will say, it could have been in a factory, or this could have been...
That's the main thing right there. I call a lot of these companies that claim to be USDA organic foods, and I have failed to find one yet that can promise me that their food is 100% organic, whether it be Bob's Red Mill. I mean, it doesn't matter, whatever it is. I've called a company and they told me, said the organic part of it was the way in which it was raised. And I always ask the question, I said, can you promise me that it was not harvested by the use of Roundup as spraying it and killing it for harvesting purposes? And they said, no, we cannot promise you that. Our promise is that it was raised organically. It has nothing to do with the harvesting part of it.
Just that it was raised that way. So y'all have to be careful with that one. Okay, now.
Number 10.
This is this is the reason we homestead.
One of the reasons. I mean, we got 9 others.
No, some of them are not. This is the main reason we homestead.
This is one of the main reasons. And it will be one of the main reasons for a lot of y'all. It is the simple fact that you feel like you have accomplished something in life.
And that's something that a lot of people lack, is feeling like they've accomplished something. When you go out and you put a seed in the ground and you watch it grow, and then you watch things it start producing, and you take it and you can it or you prepare a meal with it, you've actually accomplished something. It gives you that sense of accomplishment. The first time you can take something you raised, whether it be an animal or fruits or vegetables, and make a meal, especially if you can make a whole meal. You are really proud of that meal that you just made from your homestead. It gives you that sense of accomplishment. Every time we put up a fence and we finish, we feel like we've accomplished something.
Yeah.
When we built the greenhouse, that was like a big accomplishment
It was a
for
major
us.
accomplishment for us.
We were so proud of it. And so every little step, every little thing you do, every time you plant a tree, you are getting that sense of accomplishment, like you've learned a new skill. And so that's the biggest reason. We feel like we've accomplished something. We're making a headway in our lives. And that's 10 realities.
Well, and it's also the accomplishment part. I tell people, always set short-term goals and set long-term goals, because when you do a short-term goal, like planting a garden, that's a short-term goal. It's annuals. 90% of it's annuals. Also plant yourself some perennials. That's a long-term. That'll keep producing year after year. Plant yourself some trees. They keep producing year after year. Get you a breeding pair of animals. They produce year after year. Those are long-term goals. The garden gives you some success at a short term. You feel like there's a real good accomplishment with the garden. You can it, then it becomes long-term.
Exactly.
Because you can eat it throughout the wintertime. And every time you sit down to that meal and you open that jar of food and you look at it and you think to yourself, wow, I did this. Or you have animals and you butcher them and you put the meat on your table and you go, wow, I raised this. It is a psychological booster for you on a homestead to raise your own stuff so that you feel like you have that sense of accomplishment on a homestead. So,
and I think that's it. I think everybody needs that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
And when you homestead, it's going to be a hard, long life, but it's very rewarding.
It's rewarding.
And we want to encourage everybody to start where they are, doing what they can, whether it's buying at a farmer's market and canning it, or raising your first tomato plants or pepper plants in containers, whatever you can do to work toward being sustainable. You may not ever get there 100%. We're not there 100%.
We never will be there.
And it's a work in progress. You'll work all your life to reach that goal, and I'm going to promise you probably never get there.
Probably never get there.
But it's worth the journey.
It's worth the journey. Okay. Wanda, thank you for being on Porch Time with me today.
I feel honored.
She feels honored to be here today, she said. And y'all go and watch Crazy Dazes. That's Wanda's new channel. She put it up because we have a lot of content here at Deep South that just going off to the side. It just keeps getting wasted in the background. Yeah. We never get to put it up because we just don't feel like we want to put it on Deep South Homestead.
We don't have time to edit.
We don't have time to edit everything. But Wanda has Crazy Days now. And she can throw up some little small clips of stuff on Crazy Days, whether it's a blooper or whether it's actually very educational. I mean, you're going to see all this stuff on her channel. And I encourage you to go over and watch Crazy Days and see the things that happens behind the scenes at Deep South Homestead. And plus, you get to hear a little bit of Wanda's wisdom. I have Porch Time. She has Crazy Days. So, y'all, thank you for watching us today. And I wanted to ask you, God bless each and every one of you. And have a blessed day. Thank you from Porch Time.
And Crazy Days.